What's happening? This is the Tap In podcast. We are live inside of the Tap In studio. Man, I got two special guests with me, two of my homeboys in this comedy thing. Mr. Lamar Jones and Chris Hype Randle. What's up, man? How y'all feeling? What's up?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm hot, man.
You hot? Yeah, okay. I ain't want to say it, but you know I'm hot too.
Yeah.
Hot as fuck. Shit, man, they cut the air off of this motherfucker, man. Goddamn. So, I wanted to just bring y'all on, one, because I feel like I really want to just want to just see if some of my feelings about what's going on in the world matches, majority of black men. Mm-hmm. And I know that y'all speak from y'all heart, you know what I mean? Y'all don't hold no punches. And I'm going to get the real from y'all. So It's really just a check-in just to see, you know what I mean, how y'all feeling about everything that's going on. And let's just chop it up. It's just a round table. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Right.
So my first thing is about everything that's going on in the world. What do y'all feel like it's gonna be any kind of like real change that's gonna happen?
I feel like change is happening.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure. I hope we get some longevity out of the change, and I don't feel like the longevity will come unless black people continue to lean in. If we continue to ask and demand, and if we keep it up, because the conversation, there may be a lot of people who want to see changes who are not black, but you can trust and believe it's a lot of people who are not black who don't want change. Right. So they want the conversation to die down. They want us to stop talking about it. They want us to get back to normal news when it's just about regular stuff. They don't want us to continue, because if we continue, then people will continue to do things. Whether those things are really heartfelt or not, them taking down Aunt Jemima and saying, look, we trying to, it's good, but if you think that's all you're going to do, no. So I need to keep my mouth open.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I think right about now it's good that we're taking advantage of white people guilt, because that's what all the shit's stirring from. You know what I'm saying? White people feeling guilty of what's been done to us for the past 400 plus years.
Yeah.
Now the only issue, like, I guess, well, there are several issues that I'm concerned about. Like right now, the big thing is everybody taking away the Confederate flags, or everything in regards to Confederates, and a lot of people are upset about it. And me personally, I got mixed reviews, mixed views behind it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Confederate is only one small portion of the problem. Let's be honest. There are more black people have died under the American flag than the Confederate flag.
True.
What I'm saying?
But we got to start somewhere. That's
we got to start somewhere. But let's be honest. What I'm saying? Like, Francis Scott Key, he didn't even make the flag for us from the beginning. And we've been saluting that shit for years. You know what I'm saying? So if we gonna take down some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never stood for the Confederate flag. Have you? I've never. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
never.
that's never something that really affected us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Will we know that racist white people exist? Absolutely. They're gonna always be here. But let's not get it twisted. The American flag, under the American flag, has caused so much damage to black people, especially minorities in general, to where it'd be like, all right. Like, now, if we start addressing that, like, to the white folks, that they this is what I feel. They're like, okay, we'll let y'all have that Confederate flag, but please don't touch this American flag. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It's almost like, okay, get that, but don't fuck with this, even though we know this shit has damaged y'all way worse than it.
Right.
And if we start asking for that American flag, that's when all hell gonna break loose.
Yeah, but the American flag is not going anywhere.
No.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't even necessarily feel like it needs to go somewhere. It needs to, because the
You said you don't think the American flag needs to go anywhere?
No, because again, that's gonna prove and that's gonna serve as a distraction. We're gonna go from the Confederate flag, then we're gonna go to the American flag. That's gonna take longer. It's gonna take way more, and we're gonna keep talking about the flag when what we need to talk about is legislation. We need to talk about policy. We need to talk about
reparations,
building up black equity. However you want to talk about it. Whether you want to talk about just going into the systems and making it easier for black people to get home loans. And I don't mean easier like just give us, but just make it equitable. Just make it the same parameters that everybody else can use to get a home loan. Make it available for us to get a home loan or loans for businesses or whatever the case is. Like that, those are the issues.
So what do you feel like is the actual solution? Because is it do you want to just have access to the money, or because I feel like I can give you some money, right? But what you gonna do with it?
Right.
Are you going to spend it back? Or are you just going to give it right back to the government? Are you going to give it back? Like, what you plan on doing with the money? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, the thing about it is you can't think about everything we're talking about. Even if you just say equality or equity or whatever, you can't just think about it like we need to do one thing and that's going to make everything change. It's so much nuance. There's so many layers to the issue and to the problem. Like you said earlier, we got to start somewhere. So you start with, in my opinion, the biggest things that are going to make impact. So is a lot of that has to do with money, and I say home loans just because me personally, I guess that's what I'm thinking about. But money in general, money as far as because when you talk about poverty, even when we talk about police brutality, the stigma is black people are violent. So if I take that statement and say let's say there's a half truth to that. Black people are violent. Well, the reality is, ask the question, why are we violent? People in general are violent when they're poor and when they're uneducated. So when you talk about the issues in the black communities, first of all, that has to do with housing because that has to do with redlining. You pushed all of those people in that area and you pushed them there and didn't give them money or access to money, and then you didn't give them, education, as well. So if you want to fix things like police brutality, it's an easy fix when you start allowing those people to make money and when you start allowing those people to be educated. Because the rich neighborhoods have less crime. It don't matter who lives over there, right. Whether they black or white or Asian or whatever. There's less crime over there.
So what do you say if somebody was like, okay, well, we'll give those people jobs, we'll come in, we'll build a business, we'll build a stadium, and then y'all could go work at the stadium. So y'all at least have some more money, and y'all get paid. Y'all minimum wage $10. We'll up it to $15, $16. So you know what I mean?
Oh hell no!
No, right? I don't because it's still you giving. You gonna say you gonna build a stadium. Yeah, and then we're going to let y'all work here.
I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to make some money.
And that's going to happen regardless, though. That's going to happen regardless because we're just talking about opportunities to be able to get jobs at the same rate as other people. That's one layer, because every black person is not going to own a business. But at the same time, you still need to, when you talk about business loans or access to business loans or funds, African Americans need accessibility to those funds as well. That's my opinion. Now we also got other black stuff that we need to take care of that white people can't take care of. That's within the black community. That's another layer, but we ain't talking about that right now. So
this is my view. I think, listen, at the end of the day, and this is far-fetched of a stretch, and I understand it may not happen or whatever, but my take on it, give us what you owe us. Give us our damn reparations. Let me tell you something. There were white slave owners that got reparations. Slave owners received reparations for losing slaves.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah, they received it.
Yeah.
So why the hell we can't get what's owed to us? So my thing is, listen, don't worry about, enforce the government. Yes, there have been plenty of people that have came to this country after that. Yeah, there are going to be plenty of people that will not be actual descendants of slaves in this country. So fuck what? That's not our problem. You should have thought of that shit when you promised us 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
Give us what you owe us and let us figure the shit out. Don't sit up there and oppress us and then all of a sudden feel like, all right, listen, well, what you gonna do with the money? I don't know. Buy some shoes, motherfucker. Give it to me. give me. It ain't none of your responsibility. Which you know what I'm saying.
Once I get it.
Once I get it. If I owe you some money, you get what I'm saying, and all of a sudden, I've been ducking you from giving you the money. You know what I'm saying? I stole some shit from you. Now I owe you the money. And then I'm telling you, hey, bro, listen, since you want the money, all right, before I give it to you, what you going to do with it? You going to tell me, nigga? None of your damn business.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And that is a layer of it. And that's why I said the black part. Because you would, if you do reparations, if we just talking about reparations in the form of just giving people money, like they did a couple months ago with the corona, everybody get a $1,200 check.
Yeah.
You know, you will have a lot of people who will just go through it.
Yeah.
So if we're talking, that's why I say it's so many layers. One part of it is fix what you did. At least start to fix what you did. Okay. The other part of that is, that's why I said black on black, like black people teaching other black people. That part that he's talking about, it don't matter what I do with it. Honestly, that, in my opinion, is more of a responsibility on other black people. Like, hey, young dude, or hey, dude who don't know about money, let me help you to stretch this money so it can last. So there are things that the government needs to do when you talk about race. There are things that other white people need to do when you talk about race. And then there are things that black people need to do for other black people. So the government is doing something for African Americans, white people are doing something for African Americans, and black people are doing something for other African Americans. It's like it's threefold. That's why I say it's so many layers.
So in the form of reparations, right? I did some math, right? They said it's like 50 million black people in America, right?
Okay.
50 million according to the 2018 census, right?
Okay.
So I did the math. If they give every black person $250,000, right?
That's not enough, but go ahead on.
Okay, but if they give them everybody $250,000,
Right.
it was like I think $1.9 trillion.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. I don't remember the exact number what they gave for the coronavirus. What that number was.
Right.
But I was like, that'll be around equal to them giving, a stimulus package to black folks. You know what I mean? And I was like, if they give me $250,000 right now, I know what I would do with it. Like, and then I was thinking like, okay, so do they give that to me, or do they give that $250,000 to my mama, or who actually in the family will get that $250,000?
Because that's the other part. That's
right.
Because you're gonna have to quantify it. You're gonna have to quantify, first of all, black.
Right.
Because then that's gonna mean, you talking about full black?
Full
you
black.
talking about, what if you biracial? And then you're gonna have people talking about, well, my great granddaddy was
So
like.
if you biracial, then I think you still should get it, because we all know that white slaves slept with black slaves. You know what I mean?
And think about all the
Africans,
all the Africans, all the Haitians, all the people from other countries that weren't descendants of.
No, they don't get it. No, they don't get it.
Who doesn't get it?
The Haitians, the Jamaicans.
What about the Africans?
Africans, no, they don't get it. They don't get it.
But that's the only reason we would get it is because we come from an African, though.
Right.
Okay.
But if you let me make myself clear.
Okay.
If you are a first generation African that is in the country within the last 20, 40 years, no, you don't get it.
No, but your kids get it. If you came over here, like you said, you're first generation, but you had kids, your kids
they wouldn't
are
get
African.
it.
Okay.
They wouldn't get it.
What?
Because here's my thing. They wouldn't get it. Because here's my reason is, you have to be direct descendants of slaves that were brought to this country, right? Not you were living in Africa and you can't, and your mama came over here 50 years ago.
Okay.
No, you wasn't.
I get that, but we don't know that.
How you know?
No. I'm saying when you say direct descendants.
Yeah, so your lineage has to go back at least 100 years in America.
But that's too much research. How would the hell we find out the cost alone?
I signed up for
Listen, they got-
23andMe, and I barely.
23andMe, they know. Okay, your mom was raised here. Your grandfather was raised here. You know, slavery was only what? Not it was
1619.
That's when it started.
That's when the first.
When was it over?
Yeah.
When was it over?
Yeah, when was slavery over?
I mean,
19
technically,
Well,
1865.
Well, supposedly 1865.
Well, that's
and
why I
then
said
they had
technically.
peonage, and then that didn't end until 1867, which is peonage is something.
So what I'm saying is, if your lineage, right? If you go back to your lineage and they found anybody in your lineage that is in here, they got 23andMe, they got
Okay.
those other sites that you can find out where your lineage is in America, where it started from, where it originated from, then yes. But if your lineage only start in America in 1970, 1960, 1950, then I feel like you don't get it.
Well,
Because you weren't directly affected by slavery because you came over here. Your parents escaped from their country to come over here after the fact.
I agree with you, but it's too difficult to solve that issue.
It's too convoluted.
And I think that's just something the white man have to deal with. That's his problem.
And it's going to cause too much division within our own community.
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, because that's
Yes,
division. That's division anyway between African and African.
It's going to be
black
more.
people in this
Because like
country.
you say, everybody's not going to get it. So now the people who don't get it, whatever math or whatever criteria you came up with to be able to award it to those people, they're gonna be salty about that. It don't matter if it's 14 different reasons why. They're gonna be like, I don't give a shit. I didn't get no money.
You right. And I was salty too because I didn't get no stimulus package because of child support. And I was salty about that too. But what I was gonna do? Go down there and make a fuss?
Right.
But if they set the guidelines and say, hey, if your lineage is not between 1619, 1865, you weren't directly affected by slavery, or you didn't have any ancestors directly by slavery, you don't qualify for the money. If it is, then you qualify.
This is why I don't agree that reparations should happen in that way.
Okay.
There's a bunch of ways that you can give reparations. I don't think it needs to be solely like we give you a check. I think there are too many ways to be able to give reparations, to people.
Why? Why not in the form of a check? If we know, if your argument was it's about economics, right? And because the people are poor, that's why they violent. Then you give them some money,
right? But they're the ways.
And then once you give the money, now it's up to you to educate yourself or other black people to help you out to figure out what to do with that money, so that money won't be gone in another year.
But here's the thing. Historically, black people have found ways to get money up until now without reparations, and you see what we do with it. Right. So to all of a sudden say, we're going to give you this money because of reparations. Now it's up to you to go and educate yourself. They're not going to educate themselves. They not. The same dude that got money who didn't want to sell drugs to get the money ended up selling drugs, making a lot of money. He didn't all of a sudden go, cool, now I'm going to go get my master's degree. Yeah, cool, now I'm going to go start. He didn't do that. So I don't think just the check wise, because there's too many ways to go and grow wealth. When I talk about economically, I'm talking about wealth wise or equity wise, and there's too many other ways to get there besides physical cash. So I'm not saying no money, but I'm saying all money, no. 100% of your reparations is by money, no. If you split it up to talk about whatever, you can split it up and say, well, some of it is going to be money, some of it's going to be you're going to get a bump in your credit score, some of it's going to be you're going to get blah blah blah. Like there's too many ways.
What about land?
Land,
we deserve some.
That's what I'm saying. Because when he said 40 acres and a mule, the issue with that is when the Emancipation Proclamation happened and then those people were freed, Abraham Lincoln, was a part of saying, okay, black people need land. So it was easy for us to get land. So when you hear people talk about the best time for black people was after the Civil War, it was because of that. We were getting land, and then we were able to go start businesses. Well, then after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, the next dude that became president, Andrew Johnson, retroactively took all of that stuff back.
Andrew Jackson.
I think it was Johnson. It was
Johnson?
two Andrews, but I don't think it was
okay.
Jackson. I think it was a Johnson.
Oh, okay.
But he came and said, take all that land back from them, give it to white people, and then the white people that really wasn't even trying to buy land, he just said drop the price just so you can get this land because we don't want to give it to black people. So when you talk about the importance of land leading to your equity or your wealth, that's why. It's home ownership, land ownership, business. So there's too many ways to get to wealth to say we're only going to give you money, because the reality is they already know from our past habits that we ain't gonna keep this money.
Well, I agree, but the other thing is systematic racism and oppression caused us to be in the predicaments that we were in when it comes to limited knowledge of understanding the value of money. When it comes to driving, they control the police, they control the supreme the political office, the Fortune 500 companies that were built off based off of from slavery and things of that nature, and minimizing the pay of minorities. So at the end of the day, like, I understand, like, there's dysfunction in white America just as much as there is black.
Right.
But the thing is, there's a major gap in regards to the funds from rich white folks to broke rich white folks. You know what I mean? To broke white folks. So at the end of the day, I think there are enough highly educated black individuals that can build wealth. Yes, we understand that there are going to be a lot of black people that's going to fuck up that money, but not every black person is going to do that.
You're right.
You're going to have every race is going to have the disparity and the gap between those that got it and those that don't.
Right.
That's just it. Give us the goddamn money which you owe us, and let us figure that shit out. Everybody ain't gonna be on board. I don't give a damn what race you are. Everybody ain't gonna be on board when it comes to the money. Give us what you owe us, and let us figure that shit out.
I agree with that, and that's why I said I'm not saying there should be no money given. I'm saying I feel like, in my opinion, it doesn't need to be 100% money.
And let me throw another thing, because I heard this. It was this lady saying that they should give us South Carolina, Mississippi,
Texas.
She didn't mention Texas, but she said South Carolina, Mississippi, and Georgia. Those 3 states should be governed by all black people.
Oh, fuck no.
And give them give us that land.
Ain't nobody want no fucking South Carolina. What the fuck you gonna do with South Carolina?
So wait. She said,
the reason why she said her reason why she said that is because South Carolina, I believe, is right there on the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, give us Louisiana and Florida for that shit.
Okay.
And then she was like, we will still need to be able to trade, so that way we can bring in goods and stuff like that, where it's not just a lock state where you don't have any kind of trade control.
Fuck no. We want Texas because we want oil. Give us that oil. Give us Florida. Give us Louisiana, because they got to come in the dock and the port areas, and people, like, you know what I'm saying? And then also we get access to the fucking military bases and all that too. We want that too. Yeah,
and she was saying we will have an army, and I was like, where we go? Where we getting the army from?
But what is this for, though?
It's just because she said that other places, other countries have successions where the Russia moved away from the USSR.
Okay.
The whole thing in England, the Brexit thing, where it's like people become independent countries, right?
Okay.
And she was saying where black people should have their own independent country, where it should be Mississippi, South Carolina, and Georgia.
Okay.
Those should be the black country, and we should. Some people may want to move, some people may not want to move to those places, but just know those 3 states are it's a black country, and it's run by black country, and the whole nine. And I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go with y'all.
No. To be honest,
I don't think I'm gonna go with y'all.
We need all of the South. All of the Southers, we need that.
But
hands
white people
down.
love the South too.
Well, fuck them. You know,
White people love the South.
yeah.
That's why they fight.
They weren't
Confederacy.
enslaved in the South, so that.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So,
Yeah, I just think it needs to be an amalgamation of all of those different.
what?
Oh, sorry. I think it needs to be a combination. I said amalgamation, which is
okay.
a combination. Sorry. All right.
Why you there?
Okay, sorry.
I'm learning a new word.
Yeah. And okay, cool. I'm gonna keep using it then. I think it needs to be an amalgamation of money, land, some sort of information, whether it's education, and not necessarily college, but skill based, because that was another thing that was kind of that black people was steered away from, was skill based, because when you're skill based, you have a job. There's a demand for your job. I heard over time that there was this push to get African Americans to go to college more, because if they go to college more, they don't acquire skills. If you don't acquire skills, then you can't reproduce things like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street. You can't produce that if you don't have any skills. All you have is this degree in communications, and it's like, well, what can you do with that? You can't do anything.
Yeah.
So let's get them not to go to plumbing school, not to go to air conditioning school, or all these other schools. Let's get them to go to college, because then they won't be skills based. And if you're not skills based, then you can't produce those things. So that's why I say a combination of those, because when you give us skills, you give us land, you give us money to be able to buy what we need to invest in that land or that business or whatever, and that skill, I can start my company. I can start my business that I can then pass down to my children. And then my children can then you have generational wealth, because that's the other thing, the big disparity like he was talking about between black people and white people. White people got long money. White people got money that lasts generations. Black people don't have that, so it's hard for us to accumulate that wealth, because I didn't acquire anything, and then I can't pass anything down to my kids. So now my kids are starting over from scratch, instead of me giving them a leg up to say, hey, here's some land that I'm passing down to you. Here's a house that I'm passing down to you. Here's a business that I'm passing down to you, a skill. So you can start from where I was, and then go higher than me. But when I go here, and then when I pass down to you is nothing, you starting from zero again.
Back to zero,
so we keep going up and down, whereas white people, they start to do like this. So you create Walmart, and then you get 5 stores, 20 stores, then it incorporates. Now my kids work there. Now I pass it down to them. Now they start here as millionaires from the gate, and then continue to rise. So that's why I say the combination part is important.
I have a question though, because like I've thought of this, like as a country we already been in, we in debt. We've been in debt for quite some time, and a lot of white people know that black people are owed some type of reparations. And if there was a situation, right, where there was an offer on the table to where like the government came up to us as black people and say, hey, listen, we understand you guys are owed reparations. We'll give you a large percentage. Let's say, for instance, we'll give every black person in this country $100 million. But if we do that, we're going to lose this country. Are you okay with the money? Or are you okay with losing the country?
What does that mean? We're gonna lose it?
What does losing mean?
Meaning like someone else could take
another
over
country.
Another country would take over this country.
I'll take my chances.
I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances. Give me my $100 million.
You take your chances?
What? We don't own this shit. What do black people own in this country?
I mean, I feel like it's already going that way though. I feel like America is losing its traction on becoming the #1 country in the world, the strongest country.
Absolutely.
I feel like they losing their footing on that already.
Yeah. So because of bigotry and greed.
Yeah. And but here's the thing though. I wouldn't want China to come in and take over America. I wouldn't want I would hope that some country like Switzerland or you know what I mean?
That's false. First of all, that's false hope. We already know who's second. And the reason you say you don't want China, because China is second.
Yeah.
So when you talk about another country is the likelihood of another country coming in, taking us over, it's
It'll be
going to
China.
be Sweden. You think Sweden gonna swoop in and say
They
we
might.
got y'all?
They might. They
No,
might.
they're not. They're not. They might not. They're not. It's not going to happen.
Just think about this though. And let's say, for instance, if everybody in this room right now got $100 million, are you really concerned about staying here? You got $100 million. You can take care of your fucking family for the rest of your life. You can build shit for that. Are you really? Because I moved to Canada. I don't give a fuck. As long as I'm taking care of my family, my loved ones, and building generational wealth for black people is the ultimate goal. Does it matter if we're doing it in this country, or does it matter that we get what the fuck is owed to us?
You're right. I'll move. I'll go to Africa. I'll go to Africa. I'll take my chances in Africa.
I think there is a responsibility, at least partial.
To Nigeria is specifically. I'll go to Nigeria.
Right. I'm 32% Nigerian. Anyway, you just said Nigeria, just made me think of that. Because I did my 23 and me, and they told me West Africa. Anyway, I think there's a slight responsibility to our other black citizens as a black person.
It is.
So when you talk about things like take my money and run, I don't know if I am comfortable to just be like, cool.
Now, mind you, they would have hundreds of millions of dollars too, though. I'm saying if every black person had that $100 million.
So okay.
So what what number is that though? Because it's at least 50 million plus black people in America, according to the 2018 census.
Okay.
Because in 2018, I think it was like 48 million.
Yeah.
So we 2 years removed from that. So
Right.
I'm guessing black people fucking. So I'm guessing it's been at least
And we
2
done
million.
had 2 million kids.
You know what I'm
since
saying?
then.
And we would certainly max, if every black person got $100 million, we should certainly max them all out. But at the end of the day, that's another problem for a different day. We got every black person got $100 million.
I mean, it's cool to think about. It'd be difficult because I think the same type of stuff happens on a smaller scale. Like, boom, like so we talk about black businesses, and you talk about the importance of black businesses lasting. The only reason we put an importance on that because we know black businesses don't last. But the reason that black businesses don't last a lot of times is because black people, because that information wasn't passed down to us, business structure, how to run the business, how to keep the business running. So your business starts and it might be go for 2 or 3 years and then you struggle and then it falls away. So I'm only thinking about, again, the structure of this institution that we have now created that's all black with all $100 million and we saying we just gonna figure the shit out. That's what we saying.
No, you know what I would do? I would put a cabinet together. I will put
that's smart.
I will put
Yeah.
administration together.
Okay.
I have the drug dealers teaching the business side. You know what I mean?
No. We definitely gonna need leadership, but not from the drug
Bro,
dealers.
wow. Okay.
I'm telling you,
This is why I'm saying I don't think.
Listen.
Oh my God.
But we got enough educated black people in this country to run it properly.
Listen, y'all, properly.
We got enough. Probably like who? Okay, forget. Say what
telling
you're saying.
Drug dealers have the best business sense. Like
Bro.
they listen. They know how to take a product, right? Reinvest it, put it in the streets, and double their money. And not just no small time petty. I'm not talking about them like your corner pushers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about drug dealers who have came from pushing on the streets, who have become to moving like kilos and running an organization. I feel like they may be more qualified to teach you, like, listen, this is how you shave it off. This is how you reinvest your money back into your drugs. This is how you back into your company. I feel like they have more insight on how to actually run the day-to-day versus somebody else.
I don't think. I think they know how to create supply and demand, but that's only one aspect of business, bro. That's only one aspect of the business, creating a supply and
So you
demand.
put a
And
cabinet-
half of that is you being shady because you putting extra shit in the drugs to make it last.
No. What you got? Because the drugs got to be good. The product has to be good. It has to be a good product.
After you are already an addict, no.
But wait a minute.
You're already addicted.
Are we saying the only successful business owners that we have are drug dealers?
He's saying
That wouldn't
that's
be
what
the
he
case
said.
at all.
No,
'cause
no,
That's what he said.
No, I'm saying to teach other people who they got their 100 million to teach them how to flip their 100 million.
You don't need a drug dealer to teach you no shit like that.
And build businesses that's long standing.
You got plenty of black people that are hotel owners that own retail chains.
Who? Like people like Bob Johnson, the black dude who
even
who
if it's
created
Bob
the water squirt.
Even if you say him,
Shit, Rob Smith in San Antonio, the richest black man in the country.
yeah, the richest black man, exactly.
And has in advance in investments and stuff like that.
He's worth like $5 billion.
Yeah, right, $5 billion.
Right.
Why would I fucking listen to a drug dealer when a motherfucker that's educated and did the shit in the right way?
Dante from the streets. That's where he is.
This motherfucker get $100 million and he want a trap.
That nigga look successful to me. That nigga look like he got it.
No, I'm not saying.
Boy, this is trapping.
Did
with
you see what he was
$100
driving though? I ain't never seen a nigga make a payment on it. He must be good.
He get $100 million and put out a mixtape.
No, I'm saying there are people who that can educate the people who are on the lower level because once you get $100 million, that's a big change in your life. So everybody needs to be educated on what to do with that money. And I'm just saying,
I believe it.
The people who are more equipped to talk to the people who are on the level are those drug dealers to educate them.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that white people that have money, do you think they're more knowledgeable than the average black person?
No.
They're not.
I'm saying
they're not. They just happen to be in the opportunities to expose around people that look just like them to assist them to get them to the right place.
No, it's not. It's not just about that. It's about what they know. When you talk about the information, the knowledge that they have.
What do they know,
though? Here's exactly. You don't even know what they know. You talking about 100 million?
I don't feel like they know anything that nobody else knows.
Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. Are we talking about average white people? Or are we talking about the average white wealthy person?
The average white wealthy person.
Exactly.
Because just like you said, they just start from a higher point.
That's it.
But here's the thing. Yes, they start from a higher point. But also the information that they are given is not the average information that the average black person is given. If the average wealthy person, we're not even talking about white person, we're just talking about wealthy person.
Okay.
The average wealthy person has 7 streams of income. What are the streams of income?
Real estate.
Okay.
Business, stocks, shit.
That's the information that the average, not even black person, just person does not have. 7.
Stocks, investments, real estate, their own business. What else?
Well, it could be a multitude of things. I mean, from land, from farming to, I didn't know that was that so much money involved with farming. Do you know if you fucking own a farm, just from owning a farm, if I have your name on it, whatever money that's built with the farm, you make money off it too. Make money off it too. You don't have to see that motherfucker ever.
I didn't know.
That's what I'm talking about. Even the ways to make money. When you talk about all the things that you were saying, you talk about dividend income, you talk about capital gains, you talk about real estate, you talk about profit, you talk about interest. Like those are all revenue streams. Mm-hmm. So the average wealthy person has all of those streams. The average person, black, white, whoever, does not know about that. We only know about go get a job so I can get my check. So
I
when
agree
you talk
with that.
about
I'm
information,
talking about the average black person that's intelligent enough and has a little bit of wealth as well compared to a person that has a white person that has wealth.
Right.
But I get you.
But the only reason I'm saying the white and black thing is because just historically, we talked about it earlier, information. It's way more common for information like that to be passed down from white person to white person,
Correct.
than from black person to black person. So when you talk about black people and you talk about going back to wealth and equity, that is a big part of what we need is the information to be able to grow our money so we can get money or get income from all of those streams of information. So if we go back to drug dealer, the drug dealer knows, yes, information about, hey, when I sell this product and then invest it back into my company. Yes.
But
that's not all a nigga need to know.
Right.
Right. He ain't got seven streams of information.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You know, so when you so when you talk about people like he was saying, Robert Smith,
Yeah.
$5 billion, you involved in all 7 streams of income.
Oh, yeah.
You involved in
Oh, yeah.
just owning property or just having money in an account that just creates interest. And then half of your income, you just living off the interest of the money that you got. You don't even have to work because you just living off interest. That's another type of money. That's another type of level.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the information that black people are missing to be able to grow. So when you talk about this $100 million, again, I say it's a nice idea, but a lot of other things need to come with that as far as the education, as far as how to structure, what we going to do with this money, what we going to do with our this country that we creating, this administration, like what are we going to do? So a big part of what goes on in my mind as far as that relates to the black advancement is information to be able to set us up for the long game. Yeah. I'm not talking about 5 years from now. I'm talking about my great grandkids.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the game that white people play. When you talking about trust funds and all this stuff, like what?
So is that the 1%ers of the country that we talking about?
That's the 1%, but the reality is it don't take a whole lot to get to 1%. We think 1% like ugh. You talk about if you make $460,000 a year,
You part of the 1%?
that's something like you making $30,000 a month, and that's not even millionaire status.
Right.
So you got a lot of You got a lot of black people talking, I want to be a millionaire. Well, nigga, to do what you want to do, to live like you want to live, you don't even have to be a millionaire.
No, you don't.
You can be a 400,000aire.
Right.
You know, you realize how much your life will change if you made $20,000 a month.
Especially in Texas?
Yeah.
Shit.
And that's not even right. That's not even millionaire.
Right.
So a lot of times we got to shift our understanding of money to be like, I want to be a millionaire. Nigga, get to 400,000aire first.
Or 100,000.
Yeah, like nigga, like even if we say $10,000 a month,
Yeah.
that will change your life.
And I think to hop on your point as far as like how to use taxes too, how to pay less taxes, because from what I heard that majority of people who make money, they pay the smallest amount of taxes in order to be able to keep that money to reinvest that back into their company, anything else. So we have to learn about taxes.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with owning businesses.
Yeah.
So when you talk about a business that you as the father starts, that you pass down to your kids, you're not just passing down a business, you're passing down a skill. You're also passing down a tax advantage.
Yeah.
You know, so again, information, we have to open our minds about what money really is, what economics, what wealth really is. It's not just about dollars.
Yeah.
It's about tax benefits. It's about so much more that we just got to unlock. We just see dollars as a whole. I'm not saying everybody. As a whole, black people just see dollars. Yeah. I just want dollars. I just want dollars. Nigga, you don't own anything. But you just want dollars. No, you need to own something. But we can't get past this land. I can't spend that. Nigga, no, you can't. But you can get a tax benefit from it.
Right.
You know, you can pass this land down to your kids.
Right.
You know, so we got to unlock that part.
Okay, and to kind of switch gears a little bit, with this upcoming election in November, what are y'all doing? Let me ask y'all.
Ooh, sheesh.
What are y'all doing as far as that? Because I've taken on the, like, you know what? I really want to vote independent. Okay. Right? That's how I really want to vote. But I don't feel like that'll get us to where I really want to see the country go. You know what I mean? Because I really just want to get Trump out. You know what I mean? And start with a whole new management Like put the sign on the door of America under new management. If it's Biden, it's the less of the two evils. You know what I mean? But as far as I really want to get more focus on like local stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to get my focus on. But it's like I don't know why. To me, it seemed like local stuff is so far-fetched versus the national election.
It's opposite.
No, you know why? Because it's not advertised and marketed as if the high political officers are. You get what I'm saying? To get people exposed to them, to understand that, hey, that this is what's going on in your community. Like, for instance, when someone is running for the president of the United States, the world knows about it.
Yeah.
The world knows about the good and bad about that person. They knows about, you know what I'm saying, at some point it's advertised to say, okay, listen, either you want to go with that person or not go with that person. You may not know about that person prior to them running, but once they're out there in the forefront, then it's like, okay, now you got a decision because because everything that about that person is pretty much being put out there in the forefront. Whether they're with everything you're expecting from from a political standpoint, from medical to whatever it is, from the tax exemptions, all of that. I think from a local level, a lot of times the average person, especially black person, we're not exposed to being involved in political office for the most part. Even though we have black people plenty of black people in black communities have ran for political positions and have gotten it and won. Still to this day, in a lot of black neighborhoods, we don't know, okay, what that position is for. We don't know why they run that position. We don't know what you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't understand shit about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because it's not advertised much, that's why it's low turnout.
Voter turnout,
in regards to it. So we don't understand it. And so the moment when we get exposed, or those positions get exposed, I think on a broader level, that, hey, listen, this is what's happening to you. This is how you win. This is how you lose. This is why you need to vote for this person. This is what that person at political office does for you and your family.
Yes, that's the key right there. Now, I agree with that, but let's go back to earlier when we were talking about reparations and giving black people money, and we were saying that you believe that black people are going to go and educate themselves. It's the same thing with this. Yes, we're not exposed to it, but to be honest, that fact might be on purpose because those offices are so important. So it becomes our personal responsibility to go and educate yourself.
Right.
Early voting in the DFW, I'm in Arlington, so early voting was on Monday. I went and voted on Monday. We were like, it was me, my wife, and maybe 3 or 4 other people there. But we went right when it started. I don't know what the turnout was the rest of the day, but I know early voting started. I know the average person probably in Arlington, if you tell them, did you know it was early voting? They will say no. They don't even know what they're voting on. It was the House representative.
Yeah.
Okay? So like my dude was saying, it is very important for you to understand what are the offices that are running, and how do those offices benefit or affect me in my family based on where I live?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those things that we want to see as African Americans, like you say, they start at the local level. When you talk about businesses or access to funds in your community, all of that stuff, that starts at the local level. But you, black person, have to go and educate yourself or find somebody who knows what it is and talk to them. Like, it's up to you. We can say, oh, make it more noticeable. Put it on display like you do the presidential election.
Yeah.
That could happen. That could not happen. But you still need to go and search for it because that is important. So when you started earlier, you were saying, I feel like the presidential election stretches further and the local elections don't go as far. You specifically got to flip your mind and say, no, local elections stretch farther.
Yeah.
And because the president is a federal office. So you got to think the federal office does what him and his cabinet believes is best for the country, not the individual citizen.
Right.
So if you feel like you're being marginalized or you're not getting whatever as an individual citizen, you got to look locally for that. Now, when you go, let's go back to the president, because your question was, Biden, what are we going to do? Yada, yada, yada. Here's the other part of voting that I don't think the average citizen does. We vote for a person, and then we sit back and watch him or her. What you going to do? And he does whatever we think is good or right, and we go, oh, man, you shouldn't have done that. And then we change the channel. Or we go eat food, or we go over our homie house or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't do what we should do, which is hold them to their word. If you say you're going to do something, if you say locally and you know, whatever. So let's just talk about locally.
Yeah.
Locally, this guy says he's going to bring more money into the community. Cool. How you going to do that? I'm going to do da-da-da-da. Nope, I don't think that's right. Or I'm going to send an email. Or I'm going to go da-da-da-da. You talk about so many committee meetings that go on in your community about different laws and policies that are going to be passed. These rooms are open to the public.
See, and I don't even know where it
Right. And if you look at past videos, them rooms be dang near empty, bro.
Yeah.
Because people aren't paying attention because they think it's not important.
Right,
Yeah.
and then it's not exposed. So it's funny you say that because you're correct. Like, for years I worked in the mortgage industry, and I know a lot of black homeowners didn't know what an escrow account was.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they have an escrow account.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They
you know what I'm
have
saying?
one and they don't know what it is?
They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Or they don't know the difference between property tax and supplemental tax. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
What is it? Because I don't even know.
Like property tax, that's basically your home. Like, you know what I'm saying? Supplemental tax is things that you add on to your home. Like, for instance, like if you add a new patio or you add any major upgrades to your home, you know, that increases the value of that home, that's supplemental tax.
So you have to pay that.
Absolutely. Like, depending on the county and the city and county where you are, yeah, they charge you. A lot of the people, like, they don't know. They never heard of that. Like, wait a minute, I got an extra tax, and they'd be like, yeah, but you done built you know what I'm saying, a $10,000 patio and all this. You don't understand that this is an extra bill or expense. They don't know. A lot of people don't know. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because we're not exposed to those things, and you don't have people telling them, hey, listen, this is what happened in your neighborhood. This is what happened in your community. Like, you know, a lot of us are not even exposed to, okay, who decides on what's going to be a tax in our county. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, because every county is different in regards to what they're going to have as a tax. You know what I'm saying? I've seen certain counties and cities and states where they might have a mental health tax. They might have a weed tax. I mean, not just a weed, like a marijuana weed, like just a whole bunch of weeds in that area. You get what I'm saying? Like, mosquito tax, all type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you having a home and stuff like that, even though we're told, get your own home, get your own shit. But yeah, it's
gonna cost you.
It's gonna cost you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna cost you. Like, and we're not exposed to stuff like that. Just like you said, from a political standpoint. So it's a lot of stuff we just need to know across the board. Where we just have to. Like, I think our whole school systems need to be fucking just changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We, like, our kids, you know, I hate to say it, they're lost. Because we were lost a lot of times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We were lost from the miseducation of what applies to our life in the building a future. Mm-hmm. All we were taught is, hey, listen, get you a good job.
Right.
You're going to work over there. They get some good job. They got some good benefits over there.
That's real.
Good
That's
benefits.
real.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, you don't know shit about life.
Yeah. You're right. You don't know nothing. You don't know about your money. You don't know about your retirement. Right. You don't know nothing. And then you get older, and then you don't have the things that you need to take care of yourself. And then when you were living, you didn't do a whole lot of things even to take care of yourself health-wise. Mm-hmm. So then you get older, and then, oh shit, a pandemic happens, and then you get sick, and now you hear all the stats and statistics about black people dying at a disproportionate rate from COVID. So now you like, what the hell is going on in the government? When in actuality, This is historical, what has happened up to this point because of the information that we were kept away from, whether it was systematic or whether it was our own ignorance. And that's even, some of that is connected to, systematic as far as you not getting that information.
Right.
So when you talk about schools, man, and that's why, again, we started the podcast off by saying, or I started off by saying, there's so many layers. There are so many levels. So do I think the government should do a lot of things? Yes. At the same time, black people, it is important for us now. It's been important for us to start to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
And let them do, not let them do what they're going to do. Still work so things change legislatively, but at the same time, we need to start doing a lot of shit under the table. Don't make it public. Don't talk about it. No, like Dante and you, I'm having a meeting at my house, or we having a meeting on Zoom at such and such. It's invitation only. This is for this information. Don't talk about this shit. Don't whatever. This is for us. We're going to start our own community, and we're going to give loans to each other. So if you want to start a business, we all going to donate whatever, $500, $1,000, whatever. We going to invest. And then this is how you're going to pay everybody back. And we're going to da-da-da, and we're going to give contracts. We trust everybody, but we also going to put things on paper. Right. And then this is going to happen. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Somebody else need a loan, black business, boom. We're going to have another meeting that's secret that we don't tell people about, blah, blah. Like, those are the types of things. And it's not about being secret like, oh, this is a secret organization. It's about doing shit for ourselves. When you talk about education, nah, your kids go to school and we know what they're learning, cool. But after school, for 45 minutes, we're going to have our own, such and such school where we talk about taxes. We talk about yada, yada, yada. We talk about my 9 and 12-year-old in March, I told them, I said, listen, Daddy's learning about stocks. And a part of your income can come from dividend income. Dividend income is when you own stock, the company does well, they make profit, they pay you because you own some of the profit. Daddy wants you to grow your income. So mommy and daddy are going to buy stocks for you. So a lot of our tax return went to buying stocks for our children, 9 and 12 years old. So my 9 and 12-year-old own stock in McDonald's, Target, Microsoft, Sony, and probably something else. So it is an absolute joy for me to walk in their room and say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. Keep watching Netflix. Keep playing PlayStation. But I just want you to know you got paid 54 cents from Target today. You made some money today. So good job. Yeah. And I tell them all the time, I guarantee you, a lot of your friends who are 9 and 12 years old, they're not getting dividend earnings.
Yeah.
You are.
I'm with that. My son has stocks as well. He only have 2. He had one for it's like 2 penny stocks that we basically have, but we invested maybe $25.
How did y'all invest in those? Did y'all do like ETFs, or do y'all actually go to a trading website and actually buy it from there?
It's an app. Here's the thing about the 21st century. It's not hard to get information. Yeah. You just got to let people know that they don't think information is important.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to know a whole lot. You can say, you know what, because I did the same thing. I said, okay, let me start. I don't know how I'm going to start. I'm just going to start. Find a video on YouTube. Teach me about dividend earnings. But even before that, I had to learn what the 7 streams of income were. Because when I heard that, I was like, well, if I'm only going to a job, that's only earnings. That's only one. So what are the other 6? If it's 7 of them, again, information. I just found out what those were, and I just picked one and said, let me learn.
Can you? I just want to make sure.
Earned income, that's your job. That's the income that most people have.
Right.
Dividend income, that's when you own stock and then they pay you.
Okay.
Capital gains income is when you own a stock, you buy it for cheap, it raises in value, and then you sell it for the profit. That's capital gains.
Okay.
It's real estate income. That's another one. What is that? I'm on 4. It is interest income. That's when you have money in an account that is earning interest. 5, that is when you royalty income. That's when you own a piece of intellectual property and other people are using it and they're paying you to use it.
Okay.
I think is that 6?
Yeah.
6, yeah.
There's one more. I can't think about it what it is right now.
Okay.
But that's 6 of them. There's one more. I forgot what it was. But all of that information started me on my journey to learn about these different ways and how can I start to get income during those ways. So back to the stocks, I just started learning. I found out about Robinhood, the app, where you download it and you just buy stocks through the app.
Yeah, I got Robinhood.
Right. And there's a thing, you can buy a whole share or you can buy partial shares because stocks, they come in all different amounts. You can buy a stock right now that's $5, or you can buy a stock right now like Google is like $1,200 a share. Amazon is like $1,800 a share. So if you can't buy a whole share, you can buy a partial share. So whatever amount you have, if you only got $20, you can buy $20 worth of Amazon. Okay. From that information, I started to learn, well, not every company gives what's called a dividend yield. That's when they pay you. Every company doesn't do that. So you got to figure out, do I want this stock to pay me dividend or do I want this stock just to raise my net worth? Do I want to, because once you own it, it's worth something.
Right.
So you may not want it to pay you dividends. You may just want it because it's worth a whole lot. So it's just like you owning a car or property or whatever.
Asset now.
Yeah, you have an asset. So you got to figure out which stocks you want to do what. All the things that I learned, they talk about buy stocks in things that you like. If you don't know nothing about it, then don't buy stock because you're not going to understand it. Right. So I buy a lot of technology, Apple, Sony, Microsoft, because I know they're not going nowhere. Apple's not going anywhere type of thing, and they're profitable. I started to learn about stocks that are, they might not be recession proof, but they're recession resistant. So when you talk about things like you can buy stock in United Health, which is the health industry. The health industry does well whether things are going on or whether things are not going on. And to be honest, when things are bad,
that's when they're really profitable.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important for you, like Corona, to maybe own. And I got to give the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take the things that I'm saying and run with it. But anyway, that's my little fine print.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when the hospitals are full, hospitals are profitable. When there's a pandemic, hospitals are full, which means hospitals are profitable.
And to piggyback off what he was saying, because it's so broad, like some of the other companies, like in a pandemic, like because there's so many other companies that can profit. Like one of the companies that I started investing in is like, for instance, that started making a lot of money, pharmaceutical companies.
Yep.
Everybody need medicine at some point.
Yes.
Whether you need something to boost your immune system, Tylenol, all that. That's who they're making a ton of money.
Whether you need a cure for a random pandemic that happens, and now people need a cure, which is what they're doing now.
And all this is through Robinhood.
All the stocks, but there are plenty of other
stock.
So
apps.
Plenty of apps. I bought my kids' stocks through Stockpile, which you do the same thing you do on Robinhood. It's just a different whatever, and you can set up an account for your kids. They're under 18, so it's through you. You invest when you want to, and then they'll get emails to say, like every time I get an email, the email says, cha-ching, you just got dividend earnings from this stock, and it'll tell you how much it is. So then from there, you set up what's called a DRIP account. A DRIP account is a dividend reinvestment plan. So if you make 54 cents from Target, if you're set up with the DRIP account, it'll reinvest that 54 cents and buy 54 more cents of Target.
Of stock.
So now you're getting earnings, but you're also continuing to reinvest. Now it's low because he only owns like 1 or 2 shares.
Yeah.
If he owned 1,000 shares, it'd be a lot different. It'd be $100 that you made or $500 that you made or whatever that's reinvested back into, So that's why it's important that you own more, but you got to start somewhere.
Right.
It don't matter what you start with.
Yeah.
So all of those things become important. I got another one that I'm going to tell you about, but I'm going to tell you about it off the air.
Okay. All right. And I kind of want to switch to switch gears a little bit because
Yeah.
we done got deep. What y'all feel about this August Alsina and Jada Pinkett thing? What y'all think? What y'all think about this? I want to hear y'all opinion on this.
Yeah.
Especially Lamar. Because Lamar.
Why? Especially what? Wait, he got an investment into this?
Lamar got the funniest takes on women in relationships.
Okay. Okay.
So that's what I want to hear.
Well, I feel like, first of all, like, I think his approach to everything was messed up from the get-go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you approach another man's wife, right, and you ask him, can you be his wife boyfriend?
Right.
Like, you know. And
I think that was respectful.
He said, I don't mean no disrespect. No disrespect
To you black man.
Right.
But-
and my humbleness. Okay? But I do want to fuck this bitch at least 3 times out the week.
I mean,
He got caught up, like, you know what I'm saying? First of all, you knew the plan from the get-go. You initiated the shit. And then all of a sudden now you emotional because the shit she wasn't yours from the get-go. And then all of a sudden now you want to get out here and publicly rant about about how you was heartbroken. Of course you're gonna be heartbroken. She wasn't yours. Like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yes, and you know I agree, because here's the thing. So let's say they have denounced, you know, that they have an open relationship. Whether you believe it or not, just for the sake of argument, let's say that it is true. They have an open relationship. Mm-hmm. They've also stated, or what they've actually stated, is that they are with each other for life.
right.
Whether it's open, whether it's closed,
Right.
whether whatever, they have stated their commitment to each other for life. So
Many a times, and he's
Right.
been around in what he said.
yes. So here's because he did say that. He said they've said it plenty of times. So here's my thing. Mm-hmm. You are not going to beat Will Smith.
No.
This is Will Smith. This is Mr. Blockbuster.
Right.
This is MIB. This is Wild Wild West, even though it flopped. This is getting jiggy with it. This is Big Willie style.
Right.
You are not going to edge
20
out.
million a film.
So here's the
Right.
thing.
You ain't going to edge out. So when you talk about getting emotional, what did you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
If let's say everything he's saying is true. I approached Will and he gave me his blessing. What did you think was going to happen?
So here's what I want to say to that, right? Well, let's not assume that August Alsina was upset that he didn't get Jada. I don't think
That's not. He said it.
He said he was heartbroken.
He said my mental. It started to affect my mental health, and I was thinking, how?
But I know, but that's the part where that's the information that we haven't got, because it could be that they are just so famous and he just wanted to be low key with it or whatever. We don't know.
It was low key. It was low key until he made it high key and talked about it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the actual pain that was caused by what was actually done by his pain.
He said,
we don't know
I lost money and I lost friends. That's what he said in the interview.
because of what though?
Because
he was in a relationship with Jada? See, we don't know. That's the information that we don't know. So let's
But
not.
this is
let's
what
not
happens when
assume-
you fuck a high-powered woman.
Right.
The world is gonna. That's like me fucking Oprah, and then all of a sudden, they, damn, I ain't know all these people gonna find out about this shit. I'm all on network. I didn't ask for that.
Yes, but
you fucked the
this is what I'm
billionaire.
saying. What I'm saying is, he said that it did break him down, it destroyed him emotionally, right? But we don't know exactly what it was that caused that. He never said, I wanted Jada to myself and it was a strain on me. So let's not make that assumption that that's what he was talking about. Let's wait for more information.
So if
Because-
we're not gonna make that assumption,
Right.
What are we gonna make let's assume something.
Let's not
You
assume
said
nothing.
So why are we having a conversation?
I'm just saying, I'm talking about him outing it that they were in a relationship. I'm talking about him talking about that they were in a relationship, not what caused it, not that, I'm talking about the way he actually brought it to the world, not the actual inconsistency. What I'm trying to say?
Why did he bring it to the world in the
That's
first
what
place?
I'm saying.
Because he got an album coming out.
Exactly. Exactly.
He got an album coming out.
No,
and he was asked about it. He was asked about, hey, it was so much speculation a couple of years ago about you and Jada, blah, blah, blah. What's going on with that? And he answered the question. He didn't give specific details about it. But y'all saying that he was mad because he didn't get Jada Pinkett away from Will Smith.
Because I don't know about what he said. He said, I gave myself to this relationship.
And he was like, he could die today because he felt good about him giving himself to a relationship. Not because I'm not the number one priority in the relationship. I don't think that's was his issue.
But he don't have an issue at all. Listen, when you agreed to be the side nigga, you supposed to be quiet. Like, you agreed with this shit.
That's why I'm saying when you say let's not assume. Like all of the stuff is there. According to you, y'all had an under the table relationship, and some kind of way it started to not go like you wanted it to go.
That's any relationship though. That's any relationship.
That's any relationship. And what do? You go, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, and so now I'm upset that it didn't work. I'm not upset that I didn't get her away from Will.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. What are you talking about?
Okay, hold on. Explain. You upset that it didn't work. Keep going. What would he be upset about if that wasn't it? What else is he upset about?
Because I'm upset because I really love this person.
Okay.
And I'm upset that it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out.
It didn't work out with the married woman you was with.
No, not even about it. Because I already got the blessing from the husband. I already got the blessing from the husband, so I'm not worried about that. So here's my thing. If I got a blessing from the husband that, yes, you know what? They're no longer romantically together, but he's allowing me to have a relationship with her. Okay, cool. Now, it don't have nothing to do with Will now, because now it's me and her. Okay. And now, me and her are just not seeing eye to eye about what the things that I want to accomplish, what things that I want to do. So maybe that's the reason why he's upset about that it didn't work. Has nothing to do with Will.
But that goes back to
him taking her away from Will.
No, but here's the thing. That goes back to what he's saying. You saying you coming into the relationship as the third wheel, saying now I'm upset that we not seeing eye to eye. It's not just now y'all not seeing eye to eye. Y'all never were eye to eye.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. So if you being mad because you not eye to eye, you never were going to be eye to eye.
Why?
Listen,
nigga, because you already even if let's say they had a let's say this was a situation where it's another country, and it couldn't work like that because it would be two women. But here's the thing.
But here's my point though. If let's say Will was out the picture, let's put that on the table. Will is out of the picture, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying Will is out of the picture. It has nothing to do with Will.
Like he's not married to Jada?
Yeah, he's not married to Jada at all, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
And him and Jada are in a relationship.
Okay.
They're the same age that they are now.
Right.
And it don't work out.
Right.
Right? He could be upset like, look, I'm mad that this relationship didn't work.
Yes,
that's the reason why I'm upset, and I gave myself to this relationship and it didn't work.
Right. It would be a totally different conversation.
Right.
No, why?
Yes, bro.
Why?
Because you're making it like these are this is one person who's just dating multiple people.
Yeah.
You making it like dating and marriage is equivalent. It's not, my nigga. It's not.
But if you're in an open relationship, it is.
No.
If you're in an open relationship, it is equivalent because I know who you're dating. Me and my wife, we in an open relationship, and I know who she's dating. I know who her boyfriend is, and they have their own relationship, and it don't work.
But here's the thing: if that's what it was,
and that's what I'm saying, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. Y'all making the assumption that he's mad about he didn't get Jada away from Will.
I'm making the assumption that they already, whether you agree with their relationship or not, here's the thing. This is what everybody's doing. Everybody's saying they're lying.
Who's lying?
Don't. Will and Jada. We don't have an open relationship, and everybody's going, y'all lying. So when August comes up and says we were in a relationship, then everybody says, see, I told you y'all were lying. Nigga, they said no.
Right.
They said this is not what we do. Everybody else is mad because they think they lying. That's everybody else. I'm going based on what they said. They said our relationship is closed. They said we are so married that we don't even refer to each other as married. We are life partners, and there is nothing that will split us apart. And then August Alsina makes a claim to say we were in a relationship, and everybody goes, see, I told you they was open. Nigga, they said they was closed. Right. You just think they lying.
It's no different if I met a prostitute. I meet a prostitute, and she tells me I am not about to stop prostituting, but we can be in a relationship.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I get emotionally attached to this woman.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I come out with an interview, but I can't believe this bitch still fucking around.
On you.
Yeah, on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. I made them payments every month. I was
August Alsina.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You knew what it was from the get-go. So outside of the fact that, okay, she didn't want to be with him or whatever the situation may be, whatever the situation, if Will gave the blessing or whatever that was, you knew she was a married woman. She was not yours. Why in the fuck would you think this woman about to leave a $40 million house, a man that goddamn that made hundreds of millions of dollars? If Will Smith had August Alsina money, he would be on Section 8.
And that's what
because you making it seem like Will and August are equal.
No, they're
and that's
not.
what I'm saying. They're not equal. This is not these two parties are equal situation.
No,
not even from the financial standpoint, not even from the standpoint of Will Smith is who he is. I'm talking about they're not equal because I am married to him and I am not married to you. Just because my married husband, quote unquote, says that it's okay for you, that don't make you equal. That just means it's okay for you to do whatever we feel like we gonna do. You still ain't equal, bruh. Mm-hmm. You still are not equal. You know why? Because you still got a blessing from him. That off the bat makes you unequal because you had to get blessing means permission.
Right.
You only get permission from the owner.
A favor.
But here's my thing. Y'all keep making it about Will.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Will is out of the picture. Will is like, listen, I rock with her. This is my motherfucking partner. So make sure the blessing is, hey, make sure you take care of her. Make sure you don't fuck her over her. Make sure you don't do that.
Hold on. If we can't assume, you can't make that assumption that that's what the blessing is.
Okay. Well, let's not. You're right. Let's not assume that.
So you saying Will is out of the picture? We can't say that because he is in the picture. Just because he gives his blessing, if that's what we're making true, he said I'm giving my blessing. That don't disqualify him out of the picture. That don't make him say, okay, now I'm over here because I give you my blessing. No, nigga. Because every time you come see her, it's at my house.
But you don't think Will and Jada had a conversation about that? About her dating August?
Here's the thing. Even if they did, the reason they had a conversation is because Will is still in the picture.
Because to the public, because
because apparently this was supposed to be private. So this ain't a public thing. The nigga made it private when he had an hour-long interview to say, I got an album and I was with Jada. Nigga, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess after the fact is fucked up. Is after the fact, the way he came about it is the fucked up.
Because according to everybody else, this was rumored to have been going on. Mm-hmm. And if it's a rumor, if it's true, nigga, you keep it a rumor. You don't talk about it. You just let people speculate about the pictures or whatever.
Right.
You know, so if it was, he said so much of my life. Like, this was going on for a long time. Yeah. So it was going on for a long time. Nigga, what is it? Why would you come out now? Why are you heartbroken now? And you're only heartbroken, like you said, because you feel like you're not getting what you thought you were going to get, but you weren't entitled to anything. Mm-mm. You were not entitled to anything because you are not equal in this. You only entitled to think, nigga, you don't get nothing. First of all, if this is true, you already got your prize. You got with Jada Pinkett Smith. That's the prize, my nigga.
You fucked a married man's wife.
So-
that was your prize.
So now you over here talking about what I
y'all
thought.
missing what I'm saying. I think y'all missing what I'm saying.
We're not missing what you're saying.
I think
You're
I'm missing
saying
what
the
I'm
wrong
saying.
thing.
Yeah.
You're saying the right, because you keep saying if Will wasn't in it, and there's no way Will is not going to be in it.
No.
There's no
Not at all.
example. Because if Will was married to somebody else and this situation was happening, it would be a totally different context. You can't have the conversation in the same context, but then exclude Will. That's the husband.
Right, but I'm talking about August.
All
I'm talking
right.
about August and his feelings about he gave himself to
Well,
Jada.
fuck his feelings.
And I'm on there. You saying you gave yourself.
Yes.
That's the whole issue. You wasn't supposed to do that. You wasn't supposed to give yourself to a married woman, because this is what you get when you do that. And then to say, but I got his blessing. You misunderstood what was happening, sir.
So I put the blame on Jada and August. I put because August for actually saying something, right? I completely blame August for that. But also Jada, on the other hand, knowing she's the married woman in this. She's the married woman, and everything that she's getting right now is because of her decisions that she made when she allowed it to be like, okay, I'm gonna deal with somebody else outside of my marriage.
What is she getting? What is she getting?
All this
because of-
blowback and people saying, yo, how could Jada, and all the little memes and people talking about
How
her.
could Jada what? Cheat on Will?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the part
Yes.
that makes it interesting. Let's bring it back that the conversation with August and Will did in fact happen. He got the blessing. If she got the blessing, according to their relationship, this is the other thing that people putting on. People are putting on this, you married, you're not supposed to cheat. Well, if we believe that, we believe that, but that's still something for your relationship. If these two people have a relationship where that is allowed, you can't put what you want on their relationship. If they said it's okay, you mad at Jada because you think you want her relationship to be like you think it should go.
No, I'm saying like everybody is blaming or everybody is coming for August when I'm saying no, it's not just August, it's Jada and August.
But you again,
I'm saying it's Jada and August because if anybody's to be responsible for the blame, it's both of them. And not just August.
No, but again,
everybody's saying August because he said
but you're
something.
only blaming Jada because you saying, well, I put it on Jada too because she shouldn't have cheated.
August wasn't in a relationship by himself.
No, we're just talking about the decisions. We're talking about the decisions that both people are making. On one end, Jada's decision to do whatever she did, if we say she got the blessing, that's up to them two people,
Right.
meaning Jada and Will. So as far as her conscience is clear because I got the permission that I was supposed to get.
She didn't break any rules. If her husband knew what was going on.
That's what I'm saying. August
So
now
y'all putting it all on August.
because here's the thing. You came into the picture thinking you were equal. You should have known that I don't have any jurisdiction in this relationship. So I don't have any rights. I don't have any feedback that I can give. I'm not at the family meetings.
Right.
My nigga, you are extra here.
To be honest with you, the nigga should have gave Will Smith a gift card or something for just the approval. You know what I'm saying? To fuck Jada. You know what I'm saying? They say, man, you want some red lobster or something? Right? Yeah, about $40. Go enjoy yourself. Hey, I appreciate the ass I was able to get from Jada. Because the average human being, the average man will not allow you to come up to him and be like, say, man, is it okay to get your blessing?
Yeah.
To sleep with my wife.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist.
Right. That's the whole thing. Their decision making is what's different, and her decision making was some kind of way. If we're saying all factors are true, her decision making was allowable because that's their relationship. That don't mean you, being an outsider, you go through the same decision making process because you're not a part of this. So you have to make the decisions for you because we've already made the decision for us. So you have to say, if I'm gonna do this, She's saying yes, but I got to be thinking about some different shit than what she's thinking about. So can I handle this? If it happens for a week, am I good with it? If it happens for 6 months, am I good with it? If it happens for the next 5 years and then she decides to go another way, am I okay with that? That's the decision you got to make for yourself, because again, you're not a part of this, sir. This is not like, hey, we want to bring you in and I'm going to also marry you. No, this is what we doing for however long we doing it. You have no say-so.
Right. And then keep in mind, this motherfucker probably wasn't no virgin. So at the end of the day, he should have known the moment you start investing more and more time with a woman, regardless if she married or not, you're going to have some type of ties with her.
That's it. That's the
just
part.
Human nature. No more. If we start dealing with a woman right now, and we start dealing with her week after week after week, you're going to have some type of connection. Right. Ain't nobody just, you know what I'm saying, you know what, she don't mean nothing to me, but you've been dealing with the bitch for years. Yeah. Yes, you have ties with her. You love her.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he got caught up, and he didn't know what was happening, just like you said, as far as the extent of what could happen to him. He dealt with a powerful woman. He dealt with a successful woman, and he got the approval of a powerful and successful man. And he didn't know what fuck he was getting into, and he got caught up.
Yeah. And now, if their relationship, Jada and Will, started to fall or crumble or whatever, that part is on Jada, because that affects her actual relationship. Again, you talking about just the fact that people give permission that makes the two relationships equal, and it doesn't.
I never said that.
Well, you making it seem like it, because you saying like he get a say. Nigga
get a
gets
say
no.
on what though? That's what I'm saying. I never said that. Get a say on what?
Well, okay. Well, I'm okay. So I'll say you bringing Jada in as far as it's her fault. There is no fault, because her side of her side of it is not affected.
No. Once you decide to bring an outsider into your marriage, it is your fault. Anything happens bad or any kind of consequences, it is your fault. I don't care. If your husband.
Talking about to him. So
what do you mean to him?
I mean, like, because August is negatively affected, she's at fault that he's negatively affected.
Yes, absolutely.
What?
Anytime you bring an outsider into your marriage, anything that happens with, whether it's just you and that other person's relationship fall out, and it's negatively affecting you in your own marriage or in your own life, that is your fault too.
I kind of agree with that.
I understand it. I would understand it more. I would understand it more.
You ain't exempt from this.
Right.
It's punishment.
But here's the thing. So.
Yeah. So. Got you.
No. You got you got me. I don't know, man. What percentage? How much is she at fault?
50-50.
No, okay, I definitely don't agree with that.
50-50.
It's not 50-50 at all.
50-50, 100%.
It's not. So his mental health now is her fault.
No, not his mental.
Yeah, I would say it is. And the reason why I would say it is hers, so I would say 50-50. The reason why I would say it is, he has been on what you call her table talk shows a couple of times.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about his mental state like several times of him being in a space of, I guess, mentally unstable or for whatever reason from his past growing up. And they've had multiple talks about, you know what I'm saying, like, because they were talking about it on TMZ, and they showed like different clips of them having like one-on-one sessions with him, her, and her mom and stuff like that about how the trauma he faced in his life.
Okay.
So she knew he was mentally fucked up before she started dealing with him.
True.
Before she started being romantically involved with him, she knew his mental state.
True.
Okay, I can see.
So because of that, I would definitely have to give her the 50%. Like, you know, if that's quote unquote true, that she starts, just having this affair with him, and she agreed that she wanted to start having sex with him, where you knew this mother was mentally unstable from the get-go and emotionally unstable, and yet you took advantage. It's no different from us. If we meet a fine chick, and you know this woman is crazy.
It's crazy, yeah, and you make her more
know
crazy.
this woman is crazy,
Yep.
and you still sleep with this woman.
Yeah.
And you are surprised about her reaction afterwards. You just as guilty because you knew this woman was crazy.
Yep, and that's how we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it just like that. We're going to leave it just like that. Yo, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. We got to have more conversations like this, man.
Of course.
Leave y'all, how people can get a hold of y'all if they want to get a hold of y'all. Leave your socials.
So yeah, Chris Randle. You can follow me on wherever Instagram or Facebook or whatever at Really Dope Name. Also check out on Instagram my organization, Grow, Strength, and Thrive. Is for the advancement of Black people. So you can hit that up on Instagram at Grow, Strength, and Thrive, or hit up the website gstnow.org.
All right, so it's your boy comedian Lamar Jones, man. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Lamar Jones. I'm on Instagram as well. It's Lameze 504, Lameze 504, and I'm still in the area doing shows. So every now and then, despite the virus and all this other stuff, we out here trying to make people laugh, man. So just hit me up.
That's what's up. Yo, man, appreciate y'all again for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Tap In Podcast. Holla.